Hello everybody. It is Wednesday the 18th of March. Now I want to talk one more time about individual consciousness, or what it is we're in. The mind of the all. And I also want to talk specifically about what is happening at the moment, what we really must understand about ourselves and about what is happening, and about this idea about the hive mind. Because that is not the natural order of this world, or it is not the only natural order of this world. Again, a possibility is being made the only truth, which it is not. I want to show you this here. Now again, to talk about what it is we are and what it is we're in, I just got a comment which is actually making it very clear. We all came out of the same substance, which is the all. And I've said before, a good way of thinking about this is a bucket of Lego bricks, with moving parts. So everything is created by the same bricks, but out of a bucket of Lego bricks with moving parts, you could build an infinite number of forms, and those forms can fulfill different functions. So then there you have the individual that is built from the all, but that is not the all, because every separate form that fulfills a specific can fulfill a specific function is not the only truth that came out of that bucket. Everything else that is created also came out of that bucket, and there is not just one truth. Now, as I said, so there is individual consciousness, individual capability, knowing yourself, what it is you are, and that is individual consciousness. Now, the web, again, what is created is a depiction of that which is creating it. Creation cannot create something independent of what it came from. So the original substance, the original mind is there creating. And we can see in the depiction of the neurons in our brain, in the depiction of the stars and the energetic connections between the stars, even in nature, we see there are individual points that are connected to one another. That is the web. And the web is made out of individual points that connect. So again, the individual consciousness is there, and it connects to others in a web. Now, again, even looking at the Lego brick way of thinking about it, you can put different pieces together because they are made of the same stuff. They can connect, they have connecting points. And you can put different pieces together to create a bigger whole that is greater than the individual part. Again, that is creation. Creation is coming together, is connecting to one another. That is the connection of the individual parts to create something greater. Right, why do we connect? And we really have two driving forces. One is the knowledge of our individuality, and we want that individuality. We also want to connect. And they don't actually have to be opposing forces. They don't. They should not be in conflict with one another. There are millions of different projects that you can connect to become a part of. Just find the place where you can connect without losing your individuality. You can do it. It does not have to be one or the other. Right. But why do we connect? How do we connect? With what intention are we building these webs? Which, of course, will create realities. Well, one intention could be so that all shall live. The web, the structure is built for the benefit of all. Again, that is nature. That is the truth of this world. The web is built for the benefit of all. Yeah? All are required to give. They have to give something to the structure, but all will receive of the structure. Again, people probably won't like this, but up to me that the core principle of nature and of this world is from all according to their ability, to all according to their needs. And I know I probably have triggered some people very badly at the moment, but to me that is the truth of this world. And the web is built for that intention, to serve that intention. And then in the web, those that have the greatest ability, the greatest knowledge, are the ones that are the greatest servants to the entire web. They are not rulers. Nothing rules. But everything has the intention that everything shall be sustained. And if you can give more, because you know more, because you have a greater ability, then do it. That does not elevate you. And it most certainly does not make you a ruler. So, and here comes, so that is the structure of nature. And of course, when I say from all according to their ability, to all according to their needs, people are desperately triggered, because that is what they have pinned the label of communism onto. And then you say, well, look at communism in this world. Communism was never achieved. Not on a large scale anyway. Every country that proclaimed itself to be communist was actually a dictatorship. Communism, they lived under dictatorships. And if you think about Karl Marx as the prophet, as the one that shows the way into communism, to this exalted state, what did he tell people to do? Let's build the diktat of the proletariat. Let's build a dictatorship. It will get us to communism. No, it won't. If you build a dictatorship, you will get a dictatorship, and that is exactly what they got. You get what you build. So no, communism was always a dictatorship, and increasingly our democracies are dictatorships. So we're all becoming one. We're all living in a dictatorship, and we are living in the illusion that we are in different systems, and we are not. Right. So that is the structure of the world, and that should be the real web of life. Everything is there in service to itself, absolutely to itself, but also to the rest, through the recognition that we are in the web and that our own survival is depending on the survival of everything else. Now, dictatorship and the origins of dictatorship. Now, I looked that up, and it was Rome, funnily enough. So, in Rome, a Roman magistrate in the Republic would be appointed with temporary absolute power to handle emergencies. And it was temporary. So the structure of the Senate, what did they have? They had a republic, sorry. So the republic structure would change into a dictatorship in the time of emergencies. It was temporary. The dictator was never completely above the law, never. But at the end of the dictatorship, they had to account for what they had done. They could be held to account if they had done something desperately wrong during the time of the dictatorship. So that was the original idea. And again, it is a function in nature. It is a function that is within us, especially if we are a herd animal. I don't think we are all herd animals. I don't think I'm a terribly good herd animal, but still. A lot are. And that is a function that you can see in the herd. And that is at the time of peace, let's say when the lion is not hunting, the herd is spread out, yeah? They are at peace, they're all doing their individual grazing or whatever, yeah? They're doing their own thing. The moment danger comes, they bunch together and a lot of them follow a lead animal. Again, that is a natural function of a herd animal. So again, it didn't come from nothing. It is within us. It is a function in this world that is within us. We do that, and probably unconsciously. Yeah? Something we do unconsciously. But I mean, that's what it was for the time of emergencies, because you can't debate something endlessly. You know, you need snap decisions, which is true. Now that system came to an end with Julius Caesar, and somebody performed Sulla. I'm not actually familiar with them anyway. So Caesar created the dictator perpetuo, which means dictatorship in perpetuity, forever. And that destroyed the original time limit for this thing. So why or how does the dictator become permanent? One of the things they can do is to issue decrees that become law. Yeah, that really cement their own position, so it cannot be moved anymore. So decrees, or I think these days we call them executive orders, that really serve themselves and their own position and their own intention. Now, as I said, it is natural, maybe for many of us, that in a time of danger we would do that, which is, I think, why at the moment, whilst they are building the one dictatorship, why they are giving us the impression that we are in permanent danger from pretty much everything. In danger from nature, we are in danger from the climate, we are in danger that is from the stars, we are in danger from the pole shift, we are in danger from each other. And that is really to trigger this reaction, that we bunch together and we follow one leader and trust that leader, that he's actually doing this for us. Yeah? Which for most time they do not. And here's the next thing, and that is, if you think about the hive mind, there is hive minds in nature. Again, it is a natural thing. It can, or a species can develop in that way. I think there may be species out there that are influencing us that have developed in that way, that have become an unchangeable dictatorship over generations. And that is now their state of being. I say, for us, it's not the only truth, but there may be species out there for whom that is the only truth. They have become that. Now, we have hive minds in this world, mainly amongst insects, notably bees, obviously. That's why it's called a hive mind. Again, should we actually model ourselves after insects? That's something you should ask yourself. Why does the hive mind exist? Exactly. What is the purpose of the hive mind? What is the intention that the hive mind serves? Again, you look at the web, the intention is that all shall live. That is the intention. That is the God of this world, by the way. That is the intention of this world. The thought behind it. Why nature is arranged in a way that it is in this web, so that all shall live. and individuality is most certainly there. Now, the hive mind, why is it created? With what intention? What is its purpose? And people would say, oh, it produces honey for all. No, that is not the intention. Honey is a byproduct. It is not why the hive exists. There's only one intention in the hive, and that is to keep the queen bee alive. It is for that purpose that the entire hive exists, just to keep the queen bee alive. So the entire hive exists for that one purpose. It serves the one. It serves the queen. That's what it does. And in times of scarcity, like in the winter, the useless eaters, which would be the drones, which are not needed during the winter, are being killed off, so that the resources are there to fulfill the first purpose, to serve the queen. So again, the web of life that is in this world is there to serve all. The hive is there to serve the one or the few. The entire hive is there to ensure the survival of the few or the one. And again, that is the dictatorship. That is the pyramid system. That is the hive mind. It is there from the start, not to ensure your survival or everybody's survival. It is there to ensure the survival of the few. Everything must serve them. Now, again, in the original dictator idea, the dictator itself was still in service to all. Yeah? He was not made dictator to serve himself. But as I said, they grabbed power. They issued decrees. They changed the whole structure to make it permanent, which it was never supposed to be. Now, at the moment, as I said, they are trying to create the permanent worldly dictatorship with a few at the top, and everything will serve them. And for that, they must destroy the knowledge of the truth within us. Because the truth within us, and the truth that is depicted in us even, is the web. Even our bodies are made up of different organs that are completely different from one each other. Not one organ rules over everything. They are all there to give to the whole according to what they are. They fulfill different functions, but they all serve the whole. And if a body functions correctly, then every cell in the body knows that its own survival is dependent on the survival of the entire body. Yeah? It is when you get a cancer that cancer seems to have forgotten that it needs the entire body in order to survive. It kills the body, and then it wonders why it dies itself in the end, because it will. It will not exist by itself once the body is dead. And that's what they are. They are cancer that have forgotten what they are, that they have forgotten what they're in, that they've forgotten that they need the entire body. I mean, they're trying to find ways where they can live without the body, to engineer their own things, like their own lab-grown meat, like their own geo food, whatever. Maybe they will create domes, environmental domes in which they can survive. I don't know. But they could just survive being in nature, because nature is there to ensure their survival. Only they can't rule then. And that is the bit that they can't. They want to rule. They have to rule. That is who I am. And they have become a cancer in this world. So at the moment, yes, the hive mind is to be established again. Another dictatorship, global dictatorship. But they never stand. That's the thing. Dictatorships have never stood in this world. They ruled for a while and then they were destroyed. That is because we wake up to the truth of the web, to the truth that the dictatorship is not the only truth. It can exist and it can even serve us, as I said, in times of emergencies, but it is not the only truth. And that other truth is within us. And it will rise. At some point it will rise. I mean, in Rome, that was prevented by keeping people distracted. They're still using that. Keep people distracted from what is actually going on. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, song and wine, whatever. And I said this perception that we are under constant threat from everything. Therefore, we must trust on the one to get us through this. And it is both political, the political structures that are going toward that way, and the spiritual structure. So you have kingship and you have priesthood, you have politics and you have religion, and the two are two wings of the same bird. So they are religious, the spiritual idea of the one that we must follow, that we must be obedient to, where we are not allowed to think for ourselves, but we must follow orders because it will save us. I mean, that idea has been drilled into us for 2,000 years now. And even that does not stick. Because right now people are questioning that. People questioning religion. And they should. Because it is not the only truth. So, I mean, spare thought for the biblical God. He's got a really hard time with us. Yeah, he wants to build this wonderful heavenly hive mind, and those critters just won't do as they're told. Yeah, no, they keep reverting back to their natural truth, no matter what he does. Well, there you go. That is who we are. We are individual selves in a web. The intention of this world is that all shall live. The intention of the hive is that the few at the top will survive, which is not our natural truth, because we are according to this world. We are according to the web. We are according to the attention that all shall live. And when we come together, when we combine, when we connect to one another, it is with the intention of ensuring survival of all, not just the few. And we come together in family groups where we care for our young, to ensure the continuation of the species, to ensure their continuation. We come together in all different manners of projects. And here's another thing, maybe I should say that, because whenever they create a project, they actually tell us that they're doing something good, something that would benefit all. That is why we always come into agreement with those projects, because we are not actually evil. We are not even selfish. We believe we're doing something good. That's why we come into agreement. And then it always turns out afterwards that, what we have built is not actually doing what we thought it would do, but that we're building something that we will serve the few. We always do that. Not because we're evil, but we are extremely gullible. And we are like children, we're trusting. Yeah, and we really need to grow up and have some discernment about what it is we're doing, and we have to think ahead of what the consequence of our action might be. Because in many cases you could see it coming, what is going to happen next if you only thought about it. But most people don't think about it. They believe the lies of the dictators. or you're doing that for the benefit of humanity. No, you don't. So, I really think this is what we are, and that is what we're in. Creation is made out of individuals. Yeah? We are all made from the same substance, but the substance will create individual expressions of itself. You know yourself, you know what individual expression you are, and you know what those expressions will do, what you create. And then put what you are in service to humanity, enter into a greater connections, and then see what connections are actually best for you, where you best serve. Yeah? If you are in a group and you feel that you have to suppress your individuality, you are in the wrong group. You're in the wrong place. You should be somewhere else. You need to find your place in the web, where you can still be an individual and it serves the whole. And that is the correct way of creating the web. You go around and you're being taught that there is no individual consciousness, or individual consciousness is sinful, or you must suppress your individual consciousness, you must kill the ego. Somebody is trying to make you a working part in a hive mind. They're trying to construct you so they can serve in a hive mind, to the point where you're quite happy to self-sacrifice, if that is what serves God, if that is what serves God, if that's what glorifies God. I say temporarily, in cases of, in a real emergency, yes, that structure might serve us, but it was never the only truth. And it was never to be the only truth in perpetuity in this world. In our own nature, the duality, the existence of different, the knowledge of different possibilities. That knowledge will always come out, even after generations of being driven into just one system. The knowledge that something else exists will always be there, and it will come out in the end, because that truth is within us. Right, folks, I leave it at that for today, and I talk to you again soon. Bye.